You think you're working hard, but 99% of people are making this one critical mistake every single day. It's not about working longer hours or grinding harder. It's about a fundamental flaw in how you approach your goals. I'm going to show you exactly what separates the top performers from everyone else, and it's not what you expect. You believe effort equals results, but that's the trap keeping you average. Most people think grinding longer hours is the path to exceptional results. They fill their calendars with back-to-back meetings and tasks, believing busyness equals productivity. They work late nights answering emails that could wait, attending calls that change nothing, organizing files that don't matter. This isn't progress. This is performance. Research shows excessive effort often leads to burnout, not breakthrough. Your brain can't sustain constant pressure without breaking. You hit diminishing returns, where each additional hour produces less value than the last. Your creativity drops. Your decision-making weakens. You start making mistakes that take more time to fix. The 99% confuse activity with achievement. They measure their worth by hours logged, not problems solved. They follow motivational content without implementing systems for real change. They watch videos, read books, attend seminars, then return to the same ineffective patterns. This creates an illusion of progress while actual results remain stagnant. Examples include working late but on unimportant tasks that don't move the needle. Rearranging your desk instead of making the difficult call. Planning your week instead of executing today's critical action. Cleaning your inbox instead of creating something new. These are avoidance behaviors disguised as productivity. The real performers measure output, not hours spent pretending to work. They track projects completed, revenue generated, skills mastered. They understand that focused intensity beats diluted effort every time. 90 minutes of deep work accomplishes more than 8 hours of distracted effort. They protect their energy for what truly matters. They eliminate unnecessary meetings. They batch similar tasks. They say no to opportunities that don't align with their goals. Their calendar reflects priorities, not just availability. Stop measuring your work by hours and start measuring by outcomes achieved. Ask what you actually accomplished today, not how long you were at your desk. Track completed projects, not hours worked. Value results over effort. Your internal programming determines your external results, not your strategies. Most self-improvement focuses on tactics while ignoring foundational mindset. You learn new productivity systems, copy successful habits, follow step-by-step guides, but nothing fundamentally changes. You implement the exact morning routine of a billionaire but still think like an average person. The tools mean nothing without the operator. You can copy all the right habits but still fail without the right mental framework. Two people can follow identical plans with completely different outcomes. One sees obstacles as temporary challenges while the other sees them as permanent barriers. One interprets feedback as constructive while the other takes it personally. The same situation produces completely different responses based on mental conditioning. The 1% operate from abundance mentality, while the 99% operate from scarcity. They see unlimited potential where others see fixed limitations. They believe resources can be created rather than just allocated. They approach negotiations expecting mutual benefit rather than win-lose outcomes. Their default assumption is that more exists for everyone. They see challenges as opportunities where others see threats and obstacles. A market downturn becomes a chance to buy assets at discount prices. A failed product becomes valuable data for the next iteration. A competitor's success becomes proof that the market exists and thrives. Their interpretation of events determines their response to events. This creates radically different decision patterns in identical situations. Faced with financial pressure, the average person cuts costs and reduces risk. The top performer invests in acquiring new skills or assets that increase future revenue. Both face the same economic reality. but make opposite choices based on their worldview. Research shows mindset affects risk tolerance and opportunity recognition capabilities. Your brain literally filters information based on your dominant beliefs. You notice evidence that supports your existing worldview and ignore contradictory data. If you believe opportunities are scarce, you won't see them even when they appear. Your perception shapes your reality. The average person seeks comfort, while the top performer seeks growth through discomfort. One avoids difficult conversations while the other initiates them. One chooses familiar tasks, while the other tackles unfamiliar challenges. One protects their current identity, while the other willingly becomes someone new. This fundamental orientation changes how they approach every day and every decision. It determines what they notice, how they interpret events, what actions they take, and what results they achieve. Your mental framework determines your results more than any tactic or strategy. Implementation separates dreamers from doers, and here's how the 1% execute. Knowing what to do means nothing without consistent implementation. You can read every book, watch every video, take every course, but if you don't apply the knowledge, you remain exactly where you started. Information becomes worthless without action. Most people collect information but fail to apply it consistently. They jump from one method to another without mastering any system. They implement new habits for 3 days, then revert to old patterns. They start strong on Monday but lose momentum by Wednesday. This cycle repeats endlessly without real progress. The 1% use decision filters that eliminate distractions and focus energy. They ask one question before taking any action. Does this move me toward my primary objective? If the answer is no, they don't do it. They cut meetings that don't produce results. They ignore opportunities that don't align with their goals. They protect their attention like it's their most valuable asset. They prioritize based on impact, not convenience or immediate gratification. They tackle the most difficult task first thing in the morning. They choose important work over urgent distractions. They delay short-term pleasure for long-term gain. Their choices reflect their priorities, not their comforts. Their systems create consistency where others rely on fluctuating motivation. They establish morning rituals that prime them for success. They design environments that make good choices automatic. They remove decision fatigue by preset rules for common situations. Motivation comes and goes, but systems endure. Research shows implementation systems beat willpower every time for long-term results. Willpower is a limited resource that depletes throughout the day. Systems operate automatically without conscious effort. They become part of your identity rather than tasks on your checklist. They measure progress with ruthless honesty and adjust quickly based on data. They track key metrics daily and weekly. They acknowledge failures without emotion and correct course immediately. They don't pretend things are working when they're not. Facts override feelings in their evaluation process. This creates compound effects that separate them over months and years. Small, consistent actions accumulate into massive results. Each day builds upon the previous day's progress. The gap between them and everyone else widens exponentially with time. Build systems that make success inevitable, not dependent on daily motivation. Design your environment to support your goals. Create triggers that automatically initiate productive behaviors. Make failure difficult and success automatic through intentional design. The 1% isn't about talent or luck. It's about rejecting average thinking and average actions. Start today by auditing one area where you're confusing activity with achievement. Review your calendar from last week. Identify every task that felt productive but produced no real results. Eliminate those activities immediately. Replace them with high-impact actions that move you forward. Measure your day by outcomes created, not hours worked. Comment day 1 below if you're ready to join the 1% and actually get results. Your transformation begins with this single decision right now.